What is up everyone? Welcome to another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how Steve became the villain of Smash, and how he became one of the most overrated characters to one of the most hated characters in the whole game. So, to start it off, just going back in time a little bit, back to when Steve was first released, going back to the trailer, everybody thought he would be super broken, but this is like a common thing. Like if you go back and watch some of the old trailers, like when Min Min was first released, everybody thought that she was the most broken thing in existence because you could like attack everybody from anywhere on the stage, and she is pretty broken. But obviously, whenever you see the initial trailer for most DLC characters, a lot of people overreacted to what they saw in the trailer, and they were like, oh, maybe he's broken, because at first when you watch the trailer, it looks like when Steve can block off Pikachu's quick attack, it looks like Steve can like stop any character from getting to the ledge. Everybody thought that you could just block off the ledge and that it would be super broken and too OP, and everybody was like super nervous for when he released. And then the day he gets released, everybody's like, okay, Steve is pretty cool, he's really slow. Everybody was like kind of like, oh, you know, maybe he's not as good as we thought. And he kind of became a character that a lot of people considered overrated, because there were some people, there were Steve enthusiasts who thought that Steve was really good. They were like, oh, Steve, he has these really cool combos. This was before any of the Steve tech was really found out. People found some combos, some extensions. Everybody agreed that minecart was his best move and it was super broken, but nobody had really found anything crazy. Obviously, he could still do his jab combos, and his up tilt combos still did a lot of damage, but nobody had found the broken combos yet, right? So for the longest time, Steve was this character that many people considered overrated. You didn't really see him getting placed in like high tier. If he was getting placed in high tier, he would be placed at the very end. You know, everybody was like, oh, he's too slow. A lot of characters, any character that has a reflector beats him. You know, he just gets comboed, and he's not very heavy, so he dies really early. He doesn't have much mobility. The best things about him were probably his recovery, because everybody agreed his recovery is really good, and that he could kill really early with Diamond, and Diamond was kind of broken, but it took a while to get there. You could get pressured, so a lot of people agreed that he was overrated. And then slowly over time, Steve has become one of the most hated characters to play against, because Steve players have figured out exactly how to play Steve and how to win, and that answer is literally just to camp and then kill them. That's the biggest problem, I would say, in Ultimate, is that the meta revolves around, if you're gonna lose or if you're losing, just camp and you can take back advantage. Like, and this works for pretty much any character in the game. As long as you have a projectile, you can literally just go back onto one side of the stage, as long as and especially if there's platforms, and just camp, and it will just win you the game. Especially if you have stuff like Steve, who can pressure you out. He can minecart, he can dash around the stage with blocks, he can sit on top of blocks and make platforms for himself. So even if he's losing, and at the same time, an advantage Steve gets is that he can mine materials while he's camping. So one of his methods of play is literally just to camp, because you just hide behind the materials and camp. That's one of the biggest things that made Steve broken, is when people started to realize he could camp, but then people actually started to find combos, and they figured out nil. Nil is basically where Steve can cancel some of the he can cancel blocks, so he can place blocks faster, which means that he can actually do some of the block combos that you'll see on Twitter. Like you'll see up tilt block, and you can just do that, and you can kill him with up smash off the top. And some of these 0 to death started coming out, and now you're figuring out that Steve has all of these combos that he can do from basically just a jab or an up tilt. Like one random jab or up tilt can just kill you now, and Steve doesn't even have to have he doesn't even have to have diamond to do that. He can have like metal or iron or even stone just to kill you, and he can kill you at 0%, which means that Steve now has the ability to do 0 to deaths. He has the ability to camp you, which are two of the most powerful things in the whole game. So now Steve becomes this like annoying character that no one wants to play against, right? Whenever you go up against the Steve, you're like, oh man, he's just gonna put up a wall of blocks, and then he's just gonna sit behind his wall of blocks and mine materials until he decides to come in and actually attack me. But now I'm in the danger of getting 0 to death at any single moment, and you've kind of seen this because there was you've seen Steve kind of pop up in some top 8s recently. There was recently a tournament in Japan where I think it was a 16-year-old Steve player won, I think he beat Shuton and Ken and other notable Japanese players. But you can see that Steve has been popping up more and more in top 8s because people have actually been figuring out, wow, this character is actually pretty broken. There's so much that you can do with Steve. There's so many different combo trees. Like if you go on Twitter and you just search up Steve combos, you'll find like an infinite amount of Steve nil combos, combos with diamond, combos with gold, combos with stone, combos without even using a pickaxe. Like, there's just an infinite minecart combos. There's just an infinite amount of Steve tech. I feel like he's probably one of the most tech reliant characters in the entire game. Like, characters like Mario, who are very fundamental, are the complete opposite of characters like Steve, who are very tech fundamental. I mean, even his recovery, there's a whole tech involved with his recovery that boosts the distance his up B goes by buffering and holding down when you're doing your up B to make sure that you get more distance to glide across the stage. There's like 10 different setups just to get up smash and to get kills. Like, and the most broken part of it all is that once he gets diamond, his attacks become ridiculous. Some of his attacks have like the hitbox of like, could you just imagine like Cloud's back air or like Cloud's fair, but with like a smaller character, and it's disjointed, which means that you can't even see the hitbox. Like, you'll see diamond kill off the side of the stage at like 60%. It's crazy how broken diamond is. But now everybody's talking about how Steve is too broken. You know, Steve is going to ruin the meta of Smash, which I've seen multiple times talking about. Similar to how people say about Kazuya, but I feel like it's more relevant for Steve because at least with Kazuya, there's some sort of counterplay. The counterplay for Kazuya is very easy because it's in the meta of Smash. Like I said, the counterplay for Kazuya, if you didn't know, is just to camp him. If you can camp him with a character that is good at camping like Samus or Dark Samus, it's pretty easy to beat Kazuya, even especially if you're a competent Dark Samus or Samus player, or any character that can camp reliably. If you're competent with them, it shouldn't be too hard to defeat a Kazuya, especially if you're on a stage with platforms. If you're on FD, then it can become difficult, but in normal tournament rule sets, you'll be able to just ban FD, so that won't be a real problem. The problem is that with Steve counterplay is pretty unknown, and the Steve counterplay that is known, which is to kind of get in his face, make sure he doesn't get materials, and just kind of keep pressure on him, people don't want to do, because Steve is going to be running around trying to avoid that at all times, right? At least with Kazuya, he's trying to get into you, so he's forcing you to actually fight. With Steve, his whole goal is to force you not to fight until he wants to fight, which kind of creates this game of cat and mouse where Steve is running, you're chasing the whole game, and it just becomes really annoying to play against. Similar to like Sonic, how people don't want to fight Sonic because he's just kind of running around, right? He's not really fun, and even when he is fighting, he's hitting you with some stuff that you don't want to get hit by, right? When you get hit by, when you're getting comboed by Sonic, or he auto attacks you, that auto locks onto wherever you are, you know, you're not having fun, you're getting frustrated, you're like, dang, I really wish that didn't hit me, right? So I think that's the biggest problem with Steve, and I think that he has a bigger chance of ruining the meta if more people pick him up, or some of the better players start playing him more often and he starts getting tournament results. I feel like he's a bigger chance of ruining the Smash meta than Kazuya ever does. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think Steve has become the villain of Smash? Do you guys like fighting against him? I know most of you guys are going to say no, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I will see you guys next time.